So, Ashley, we're going into a whole new season of Happily Ever After. Can you tease what we're going to get to see with you and Manuel this season without giving any spoilers?
Oh God. Um, all the drums. Let's start there. Um, Manuel and I, we feed off each other, whether it's positive or negative, we do. So you'll get to see what that looks like. And you're also going to get a deeper look inside of our relationship and what Manuel is bringing to the table.
And the reunion, it was wild. Did anything shock you, like everything with Jasmine and Nikki, or was there any moment where you were like, I can't believe like this is happening?
I honestly think the biggest thing that shocked me was some of the issues with Jasmine and Gino. You know, uh, I really enjoyed spending time with them. And so it was really kind of unfortunate to see that their their wires are missing paths, you know what I mean? So that I thought was interesting to see that dynamic.
And I loved that you really seem to have Nikki's back in the tell all. Do you have a friendship with her? Have you spoken with her since everything that happened?
So yeah, I've spoken to Nikki. I've spoken to a few people on the cast. I'm nosy, so I like to see what people are up to and all of that. But also too, I don't like disrespect in any way, shape, or form. So like whether it was Nikki, whether it was anybody else, I just feel like we should always be leading with love. That's just how I feel. And I just didn't appreciate how Igor was saying kind of insensitive things to the person that he claimed to love, at least in that moment. That's what he was presenting to us. So, like, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. You know what I mean? So, if he's presenting to us that he's in love with her, why are you clearly hurting her by the words that you're using? I would say the same to my partner. And maybe you might see some of that coming up. So, it doesn't matter who it is. If you're acting that way, self-correct or I'll correct you. And I would expect somebody else to do the same to me, to be honest.
Now, I know that you mentioned that you have spoken to some of the other cast members. That was my next question. Have you kept in touch with any of them? Are you friends with anyone who's been on the show?
Yeah, yeah. I've kept in touch with some of the cast members. I've talked to Clayton here and there. I talked to Jasmine. I've talked to Nikki. Yeah, that's kind of about it. I've spoken to Devin here and there.
Now, speaking about you, so we saw that your family obviously had some issues with your relationship. What was
Yeah.
like for you dealing with that? And could you understand where they were coming from?
Well, I think with the work that I do in the spiritual community, I think there's a big responsibility to have empathy. So, yeah, I do understand where they're coming from. Again, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And Manuel has the tendency to be a little secretive, and maybe we'll explore that a little more as well. And so, my mom wouldn't be my mother if she didn't raise some of these questions that I hadn't been raising at that point in time. So I understand it. Do I wish, for them to be a bit more open? Sure. But I think they're doing the best that they can do. I came home one day and said, I'm getting married again to the same person from Ecuador. So, I mean, you know what I mean? It's not the easiest thing.
And have your family's opinions changed at all? Are we going to get to see more with your family this season?
Yes, so I can say that we'll see more of Mama. She's been a hit with the people. I love it. So we'll see more of my mom. We'll see more of my sister. Have their opinions changed? Gosh, what a loaded question. I think that's a we'll just have to wait and find out sort of question. Yeah.
Definitely. And I feel like, fans love seeing your relationship with your mother. I feel like it's like relatable how much she cares about you. And it's obvious that
Yeah.
you care so much about her. So we're
Yeah.
definitely excited to see more of your family
Yeah,
on the show this season.
for
Um,
sure.
and I was going to ask, what has surprised you the most about joining the 90-day franchise? Like, had you seen the show before you were on it?
So yes, I had seen the show, bits and pieces here and there. Me being in a relationship, doing a K-1 visa, I could definitely relate to a lot of the stories that I saw. And so it kind of helped in spaces when we were just waiting on paperwork, you know what I mean? Just to see other people who were going through this very intense process of bringing somebody over here through a K1. My most surprising thing, you know, I'm not gonna lie, it's like TV therapy. So even like filming the tell-all and being in this situation, right? This almost like oven cooker with all these people that are going through so like such similar things. It was nice to be able to share space and relate to some of their issues and some of their trials and tribulations when it comes to the K1 and making sure your partner adjusts. And a lot of the Americans on the stage were saying things that I deeply resonated with. And a lot of the foreigners on the stage were saying things that Manuel deeply resonated with. And I don't think either of us were expecting that. And so it was nice just to be seen through that mirror.
And what has it been like? Have you been watching the season back with Manuel? Do either of you regret anything? Is there anything you would change?
Um, Most of it. So Manuel gets a kick out of it. He really likes it. He's like, hey, our show is on. I'm more of the, okay, let me sit down and watch. It's still like, it's weird, and again, like even with the work that I do, like I run a podcast and all that, I don't listen to my podcast episodes back. So that might just be a me thing. There are moments in the show that I think are absolutely hilarious. Seeing yourself on TV is a wild experience. I think we're very entertaining to watch, and we come across incredibly authentic because that really is who we are, and that's how it's going to be. I don't regret anything. Everything came out exactly how it was supposed to, and it's our lives, and there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. It's our lives, and we're not going to sugarcoat our lives.
And what was has been your family's reaction watching it back? Were they shocked by some of the scenes, like maybe the bathroom scene that was
The
kind of
infamous bathroom scene. Um, to be quite honest, I have taken the approach, if you ask me, I'll talk to you about it, but if you don't ask me, I'm not going to say anything. So, like, my dad, for example, has not asked about the bathroom scene, so I haven't said anything. A few of my cousins are like, girl, and I'm like, what? Like, it happened, like, I don't really know what to say. It happened, it's over with. I regret nothing. It's my life.
definitely. And how has your life changed since being on the show?
Well, we definitely get recognized more. Well, period. We're getting recognized. So that's definitely been a whirlwind and fun. And honestly, it's been really nice to like see people out in the wild, if you will, and they talk about, how much they love the show. That was another thing that surprised me. Just the fan base. They really truly love the show. They really get joy and entertainment out of it. And in a very odd way, it's fulfilling. It's just like, okay, if watching us do wild stuff on television makes you feel great or like just kind of gives you a sort of joy, I appreciate that. And I take the job willingly. Um, yeah, life has been wild and really busy. I'm not gonna lie, super busy trying to multitask a lot of things. I got a lot of hats in the ring. I think that's the saying right now, but in a good way. I was just saying this to somebody else. I could be really busy doing a lot of other things that are non-productive. So I'm thankful to be busy and in my element.
Well, I definitely resonate with the fan base and thinking that the show is like so entertaining. Like I don't watch very much scripted like TV, but I'm all about like the 90-day franchise. I feel like it's like one of the last authentic like networks like TLC, like
Yeah,
able to see like people living their real lives and like things
right.
that you would never expect to see. And that
Yeah.
also comes with maybe some backlash on social media, and that was my next question. I'm wondering, the fan base is really like avid.
Opinionated.
They're not scared to share their opinions. What's it
Oh.
been like dealing with so much input on your relationship in your life?
Woo, great question. Um, I went into this experience knowing who I am, and my partner did too. We've known each other for years, and we understand the substance of our relationship and what it's built upon. And so I knew it wasn't going to be easy. My internet name in my house is Bravo Babe. You know, I'm not unfamiliar with reality TV. So I knew it wasn't going to be easy, and I knew people were going to have their opinions. And, you know, sometimes it's like, can you please get off of my page? And then sometimes it's like, okay, clearly the way that I've taken this is that if somebody's taking the time to find me on social media to say something evil or nasty, it says way more about them than it does about me, to be honest. You know, I think that love begets more love, not to be cushy and granola about it, but it's really truly how I feel, you know, and I think as long as we keep spreading more love, that will be given back. I've received a lot of love, and I've definitely received people with their opinions on my relationship, on things that were filmed, on things that were out of our control, like all of it. And I think the biggest thing is you got to keep watching, right? So like you can't form an opinion on anybody based off, you know, a 2 hour television show. So you have to keep watching and see how this story continues before you can make any sort of judgment call. And if you really want to know the individual, go find their socials. Get to know them even more before you make a sort of judgment call. So, you know, it's been up and down and interesting to say the least. And, you know, I'm just gonna keep on shining my light, honey. That's all we can do.
Totally. I love that. And I also know that you work in the spiritual realm. I'm personally a big fan of astrology, Gemini Sun, Taurus Moon, Libra Rising. Do
Okay.
you think your work has helped ground you while being on the show?
100%. Oh my goodness. If I was not in the spiritual realm, I would have just been wild. It's really helped me to ground and help me to take some of that negative feedback with a grain of salt, to understand my boundaries around my phone, around client work, around all of it, navigating social media, and, you know, remembering who I am and the work that I do 100%.
Does Manuel fully understand now what you do in the spiritual realm? I know at first he
Yeah.
wasn't quite sure.
I don't know if he fully understands, but I think he gets it for the most part. And, you know, if you're not really in the spiritual work, it's hard to fully understand when you get to deeper layers of my work, like the Akashic records and things like that. That's when I start to lose people and they're like, where are we going? Like, what's happening? But you know, as far as the tarot and the astrology go, he has a solid grasp on that and understands it. And then the mentorship that I do in the spiritual work, he gets that I work with people on building their brands and their business in the spiritual community. So, you know, baby steps.